Stand in awe, and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be still. Selah. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness, and put your trust in the Lord. Psalm 4, 4-5. After addressing his enemies, David turns his attention to providing spiritual counsel. These verses shift from confrontation to instruction, revealing the psalmist's heart not only for justice, but for redemption. Even while facing opposition, David offers guidance that could benefit both his supporters and his adversaries. The command to stand in awe establishes the proper foundation for spiritual life. The Hebrew word suggests trembling or quaking, conveying reverence mixed with holy fear. This sense of awe keeps us from sin. When humans grasp God's majesty, transgression becomes less appealing. As Solomon later wrote, "The fear of the Lord is to hate evil," Proverbs 8:13. David then counsels inner reflection. Commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be still. This instruction reveals the importance of quiet meditation in spiritual formation. The bedroom becomes a sanctuary for self-examination. In the stillness of night, away from distractions, believers can evaluate their actions, attitudes, and affections. The command to be still echoes throughout Scripture, finding its fullest expression in Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Verse 5 builds upon this foundation of reverence and reflection by addressing outward worship. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness. For David's original audience, this referred to literal sacrifices performed according to Mosaic law. However, even in the Old Testament, God clarified that external offerings without internal righteousness were meaningless. As Samuel declared, "Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice." 1 Samuel 15:22. The last instruction, "Put your trust in the Lord," completes this spiritual progression. From reverence to reflection to righteous action, the journey culminates in reliance upon God. Trust represents the highest expression of faith, acknowledging human limitation and divine sufficiency. For contemporary believers, these verses offer profound guidance for spiritual formation. First, they remind Christians that genuine spiritual life begins with reverence. Modern culture often reduces God to a cosmic companion or celestial therapist. David's words challenge such domesticated views, calling believers back to reverence. This holy fear doesn't diminish intimacy with God, but rather establishes its proper context. Second, these verses affirm the value of quiet reflection in an age of constant noise. Many Christians fill their lives with activity, even religious activity, while neglecting contemplation. The psalmist's counsel to commune with your own heart upon your bed speaks to believers surrounded by technological distractions and relentless busyness. Spiritual growth requires regular intervals of stillness where believers can examine their hearts before God. Third, David's words challenge Christians to ensure their worship manifests in righteous living. The sacrifices of righteousness for New Testament believers involve transformed conduct. As Paul writes, "Present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service." Romans 12:1. Sunday worship rings hollow when disconnected from Monday ethics. Last, these verses remind believers that trust remains the essential posture of faith. In anxious times, Christians often seek security in financial planning, political solutions, or in personal achievements. David's simple instruction, "Put your trust in the Lord," redirects faith to its proper object. This trust isn't passive resignation, but active confidence that God's character and promises provide the only reliable foundation for life.